We are all set for the first ODI between Australia and India. International cricket is back finally for India, and no bigger series, no better opponent than the Aussies down under. Let's build our fantasy team for that first ODI in Sydney on my 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPNcricinfo. Joining me shortly, Tom Moody. Right, international cricket is back and Tom Moody is back on our network. We couldn't get enough of him during the IPL, so on he comes for a series where he is now host. Tom, all set for this one?
Certainly am looking forward to it as well.
And as our pro tip suggests, in Sydney, there's not been much cricket anywhere in the world, but we are looking at the last 5 ODIs at the SCG, and we're seeing that the 5 completed games suggest that scores in excess of 250 are good enough for teams batting first. They've won on every occasion. So our pro tip, Tom, says that we should pick more players in our fantasy from the team that wins the toss and bats first. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does make sense. But I think also, given the fact that both these teams are coming into this contest with only the cricket that's been played in the IPL and a few of the domestic players in Australia that will be in the squad have had some Sheffield Shield cricket, I would be, certainly taking note of that. But I'd be also looking at the players that have had some game time.
All right. Well, let's go to what we recommend then, and I'll give you a bit of a heads up. Now, there are a few star-studded bowlers that don't make our recommended 11. I wonder what Tom Moody makes of that. Let's go to player availability first up, and just a quick update that Kane Richardson has been replaced by Andrew Tye in the Australian squad recently. If you think they go with their full-strength pacers, then there may not be a case for Richardson, but we'll come to that in a bit. Before we go to our team, on the My 11 Circle app, 100 credits for every user to build their fantasy team, 4 categories of players to pick from: batsmen, bowlers, wicket keepers, and all-rounders. Every player's individual credit value is listed on the app. You can pick a maximum of 7 players from one team in any given contest, and there are 4 substitute options that we'll throw up for you as well. We go to our top picks. Our captain choice is Virat Kohli. It doesn't come as a surprise. Yes, no international cricket for several months for India, and not necessarily a Kohli-esque IPL, but he's still got the runs, and he's a different beast when it comes to 50-over international cricket. We also know his love for Australian pitches and conditions, so let's not rule out Virat Kohli, especially in Rohit Sharma's absence. David Warner's there as vice-captain. Now, he's not necessarily at the best run of ODI games as David Warner. His last 9 games have gone without 100, which is low for David Warner's considerably high standards. However, it's Sydney. He enjoys the SCG. His numbers are pretty good. He averages 57, and he's got over 800 runs in 15 innings. The last time he did play against India in Sydney, Warner put up a top-class 100. So that's our captain choice, Kohli, and vice-captain David Warner. They give you double and 1.5 times the points, respectively. Shikhar Dhawan features in our top picks. We know how much he loves Australia. There's Shikhar Dhawan from that World Cup innings. It was his last effort in the 2019 World Cup, but boy, did he make it count. And we do know his overall record, 618 runs in 17 innings for Shikhar in the IPL. But you know that against Australia, he's got a damn good record as well. Pat Cummins is there, the most prolific wicket taker in international cricket in 2019. And he's in decent touch in 2022, 12 wickets in 9 games for Australia. And he also enjoys bowling at the SCG. Mohammad Shami features in our top picks. He's fit, he's firing, he got wickets in the IPL, and again enjoys bowling in Australia, so he features in our top picks too. Virat Kohli, David Warner as captain and vice-captain. Dhawan, Cummins and Shami among our top picks. Tom, thoughts?
Yeah, look, I think that's been very well worked out. We all know the strength of Kohli in 50-over cricket, and also against the opposition, Australia, who loves playing against. Warner, I think, is a must pick as well. We know what he's capable of doing, and he also likes to prove a point in the early parts of tournaments, and recognising that this is an ODI series, but there's plenty of cricket, 2020, and then Test cricket after that. So Warner will want to put a stake in the ground, if I could put it that way. Shikhar Dhawan had a brilliant IPL, in some great form, enjoys playing in Australia, and the 2 pace bowlers selected are both wicket takers and both world class.
All right, let's go to some differential picks. You'll have to accommodate a few players on slightly less credit value. We're suggesting Adam Zampa could be one of them. Now, you may not think Adam Zampa is the biggest threat if you look at Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins and whatnot, but Zampa is, in the little cricket that we have seen in 2020, the leading wicket taker in ODIs, had a prolific series against England, which is the last bit of ODI cricket that Australia have played. And with 20 wickets in 13 games, he's picked up more wickets against India than any other opposition. So he doesn't mind playing against Virat Kohli's side. Does Adam Zampa? Ravindra Jadeja is there. He's been a different player in 50-over cricket, international cricket in general. And he did fill in in the absence of Hardik Pandya as the all-round option in the white ball side. Can bat, can bowl. If he does get a start, he's a differential pick. As we look at our differential picks, Zampa and Jadeja, our full team involves KL Rahul as the keeper option. David Warner's there, Shikhar Dhawan's there, Virat Kohli, Steve Smith, and Manas Labuschagne. So we've got pretty much the best of batting from both sides. All-rounder option is Ravindra Jadeja. Chahal, Cummins, Shami, and Zampa are our recommended bowlers, which means our substitutes list has the likes of Bumrah and Mitchell Starc, along with Shreyas Iyer and Marcus Stoinis. I wonder what you make of that. Would you go in for a fantasy team without Bumrah and Starc?
I think you'd be brave, put it that way. I think both of them in this format, across any format really, are genuine wicket takers. So I'd be definitely considering one, if not both of them in this 11 because of their quality. Starc has had enough cricket to be ready for this tournament. And Bumrah, we know, had a brilliant IPL, so he's on top of his game. So definitely there is room to try to squeeze them in.
And we'll give you one quick alternate scenario. There is some thought of whether KL Rahul will continue in the middle order or open in the absence of Rohit Sharma. If he does play in the middle order, one of our punts is, Tom, that Mayank Agarwal could be an interesting inclusion if he makes the 11. Would you be excited by that?
Yeah, look, yes, because he's a very fine player, but I'm a huge KL Rahul fan, and I just think that in this situation you've got to be considering him at the top of the order if there's an opening, and plus behind the stumps he's going to be getting points for you as well with catches and stumpings.
All right, fair point. Thank you very much, Tom Moody. More from you as this international series now kicks off in Australia. This was our fantasy suggestion for the first ODI in Sydney on My 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPNcricinfo.